you have quite some experience with perseverance. You start off in Foot Locker in Pennsylvania at 16, right?
Yep.
Which
Actually, it goes back further. Foot Locker would be the first sales job I had. The first job I had in a restaurant, and they don't care about child labor laws back then. So I was
right.
working 12 hours a day at that time on weekends and during summers. But yeah, always had a strong work ethic that I had to nobody was going to give me anything in life. My parents weren't. I had to buy my own school clothes. So that's part of the reason why I started working when I was 13, 14. I actually started looking for my first job when I was 12, but I could not find anybody to hire me until I was 13, all but 14. And that's where I was able to get a job at a restaurant. So yeah, pretty crazy.
That's an amazing early education. Restaurant
Yeah.
onto commission-based sales
Yeah.
before 18. That's awesome. And then you moved to Tijuana at 18, and you had to
Yes.
commute to San Diego, sometimes spending 6 to 8 hours during the commute. What did you
Yeah.
do during the commute?
So really nothing. At the time, I mean, you got to remember this is before the cell phones existed like they do today. It was literally stand in line and wait. I mean, unless the person in front of you or behind you struck a conversation, you were just standing in line waiting. Now, if you were driving across the border, which I was not for the longest time because I was, you know, didn't have a car. You couldn't afford it. I was paying for myself to live in Mexico in a house and all that stuff. It was you have the luxury of at least being able to listen to the radio. Okay. I didn't even have that at the time. Eventually I did end up buying an MP3 player, which was probably about this wide and this long. So about probably about 8 inches long and about 4 inches or so wide. But that did keep me entertained a little bit while crossing the border. But it was hard. I think that is probably where I learned to have patience from. And it's because in the United States, you're used to having everything now, instant and instant gratification. That's the world we live in. Whereas when you go to places like Mexico, waiting in line, whether it's to cross the border, whether it's to go to the bank, whether it's a restaurant, whatever, that's normal living for a lot of people in a lot of foreign countries. They're used to waiting in long lines. They're not used to that instant gratification. And that's, I think, where having patience of allowing things to develop and sticking with things maybe longer than I should have, I think developed out of that time period.